Hey, a month ago I posted a video about my rapid process of transforming my personal home into an Airbnb because I was going to be gone for a month on vacation. And well, now a month later, I want to tell you about how my first month of being an Airbnb owner went. So stick around and I'll tell you all the ups and downs because I'll tell you what, it didn't exactly go as planned. But yeah, stay tuned. So I'll start with some of the most obvious things that people might want to know. For instance, how many bookings did I actually get for that month? Well, here's the thing. We actually only were able to have our home available for 18 nights out of the month because it took a little longer for us to get everything ready than we thought. And then we had to block off a few days here and there because of when we were going to be coming home. So anyway, in our first month of Airbnb, there were only 18 available days. And I'll just add, we didn't have a whole bunch of time leading up to that where people could book ahead of time. So long story short, 11 of those 18 days were booked, which I actually thought was pretty good to have over half of them booked when we didn't have any reviews. We had no lead time. In fact, our first booking was for the night after we made our listing available. So we got bookings pretty quick. For that first month, we profited about $810 after the platform fees and after the cleaner fees from those first 3 bookings of 11 nights total that we got. Now, I will mention that the first few bookings that we get on the platform are pretty heavily discounted, and that's to compensate for the fact that we don't have reviews and we don't have an established reputation. So Airbnb gives you that option to discount the first few bookings, and I chose to do that because I would be a little bit leery personally about booking a place that had no reviews. So you have to give people a reason to want to choose your place when you are absolutely brand new at it. But here's the thing, we actually had our home open to bookings for nights in the future, not just those 18 nights of that first month, and we got a lot of bookings. I mean, I was pretty blown away because for one, we live out in like the far out suburbs and there's not really any attractions near us except for one, and my wife called this. She knew ahead of time this would be a big draw to people staying in our home. I didn't think it would be a big deal. She was totally right about that. I was wrong. We're right next to this kind of entertainment style farm, and they've got a wedding venue, and I guess it's a pretty popular wedding venue. So a lot of our bookings that we're getting are from people wanting to stay here because they're from out of state and they've got somebody who has a wedding there. Anyway, all that to say, we received $6,286 worth of bookings for future dates in the next 6 to 8 months on the platform, and that's in addition to the $800 that we got for our first month on the platform. I'm kind of excited about these future bookings because they're at a much higher price point per night than these first few bookings, so they should be a lot more profitable than the first ones that we had. And keep in mind, the numbers that I'm telling you, the $800 figure, the $6,000 figure, that's all after deducting the fees that the platforms charge, as well as the cleaner fees, because I mean, that's not profit. That doesn't hit. Technically, the cleaner fees hit our pocket, but it immediately goes out so we can get the house cleaned. And I'm just trying to give you the numbers of what we're actually going to be benefiting from doing this. Okay, I alluded to the fact that there were some issues and everything did not go as planned. Well, the fact is mistakes were made on my part, and here's what happened. I signed us up for both Airbnb and VRBO. And in the confusion of trying to get everything set up and responding to inquiry messages for renting our home, I accidentally forgot to go through on VRBO and limit how far into the future people could book. And what do you know, within a day, somebody had booked the entire month of this next March on VRBO. And here's the thing, we're actually kind of planning on being here for that month. We weren't planning on taking a month-long March vacation. That was totally just a mistake on my part. They were not supposed to be able to do that. So we still have to decide what we're gonna do for that situation. I mean, whether we're gonna cancel on them or just leave for the month and take a month-long vacation, who knows? We actually also had the week leading up to Christmas booked, and that was also unintentional. So yeah, there were a few issues, and it turns out Airbnb charges the hosts to cancel a booking made by a renter. But the crazy thing is I have a lenient cancellation policy, so the renters can actually cancel anytime they want without being charged anything or it affecting them. So it kind of seems one-sided to me, but I get it. They need hosts to be reliable so that people feel comfortable booking on the platform. Regardless, that was an issue. My advice for that, double check the dates you have open if you start doing this, and make sure you are okay with those dates being booked, because I kind of shot myself in the foot with that one. And real quick, before I tell you about another problem, I just wanted to mention that on VRBO and Airbnb, it was interesting to see just the breakdown of the demand. And let me tell you the numbers real quick. For VRBO, we got $3,118 worth of bookings came from VRBO, and $3,168 worth of bookings came from Airbnb. So for us, it was actually pretty much split down the middle, which means we doubled our revenue by using both platforms. However, I will say it is a little bit of an unusual event that swayed it towards VRBO's favor, because that 1 month booking we got, which I don't think is really a standard normal thing to happen, was from VRBO. So that represents a lot of the VRBO booking total that we received, if that makes sense. But regardless, if you're going to be listing your home for short-term rentals, you might as well be on multiple platforms to get more attention on your home. Okay, you ready for the other issue that happened? Our cleaner quit on us our first few weeks into this whole process. So we had 3 bookings that first month, right? Well, our cleaner cleaned our home for the first 2 of them and then told us right before the 3rd one that, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. The reasoning she gave us was that it just wasn't worth her time. You see, she's kind of a newer cleaner. She's doing this as a bit of a side hustle, a gig. And she thought that it would be cool to start cleaning Airbnbs. And then she realized, oh, with Airbnbs, I have to do the laundry and then I have to remake the beds. And basically, she just said she didn't like doing the laundry and that made it not worth her time. So she wasn't willing to do it, even for the price that other established cleaners were able and willing to do it for. So she's a nice lady. She did a good job cleaning, but unfortunately that gave us a little bit of a curveball. So I found a different cleaner. This cleaner actually was more established as an Airbnb specific cleaner, and actually that's all her company does. The first lady that quit on us started at $150 but ended up charging us more, like $200. And this next lady actually charges $200 for every Airbnb cleaning, so about the same price. The problem with that was, well, 1, we had to scurry to find a different cleaner. 2, we also kind of lost out a little bit because a bunch of our first bookings, we put the cleaning fee as $150. So that means we're actually going to be eating $50 into our profit since our cleaner's actually going to be charging us $200 a pop. So not a huge deal, but lesson learned. We adjusted our cleaning fee for the future. And from now on, I'll just always choose the reputable option, because the cleaner I chose, like I said, although she was a nice lady, she was new to it. She hadn't cleaned Airbnb specifically before. I knew that going into it. I should have just chose the lady who knew more of what she was doing, focused on it, even though she was at a slightly higher price. Apparently she was at a higher price for a reason. She knew what she was doing and she was charging the right price for the job. As far as the house itself, it was in good condition when we came back, which is a testament to how good of a job our cleaner was doing. There is one small issue we found after looking through the house, because obviously we just had a bunch of strangers stay in our personal home. We kind of went through it and wanted to see what condition it was in, if they left everything as it should be, because it's a little nerve-wracking leaving your home to complete strangers. Anyway, all we found was one little stain on a couch cushion. They actually flipped the couch cushion over, so we had to flip it to find it. It wasn't a big deal, but it does look like they didn't even try to wash it or remove it. I think if they would have done that right away, it would have gone away. But by the time we got to it, it was too set in. Regardless, we're not going to charge them for that. It's cost of doing business. But yeah, this was our first month Airbnb experience. I think it was worth it. It definitely took more work and attention than I thought it would. We got some money from it, and actually in the future, it looks like we'll be getting a good chunk of money for it. So totally worth it to do on your personal home if you're going to be out of town a lot and if you have a good, reliable cleaner nearby. So I'd be happy to answer any questions about the specifics of what we did and what we didn't do to set it all up. But that's kind of how it went. So please subscribe if you haven't already. I do try to make super valuable content, and I will continue to do so. And I have more startup business ideas, side hustles, gigs, videos like that about all of the above, everything business, coming up very, very soon. So watch out for those, and I am looking forward to talking to you very soon.